So, wanted to welcome everybody that's here. My name is Craig Hinkle. I am the principal at Richland Collegiate High School. Thank you so much, number one, for entertaining the idea of coming to a brand new school. We're going to go through a little presentation that I've got, so I'm going to switch my screen over in just a minute so you can see the PowerPoint and see some of the information. I am going to have Jonathan and Adam send this PowerPoint out to you so that you have it. And then I'm, like I said, recording this presentation so you can also go back and view it again later if you need to. We're going to go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen so you can see what we're doing today. This is the summer update for the class of 22. Just happens to be on the 22nd of July. Before we get started, I want you to check these items, please. I want you to go ahead and make sure your camera is on. And we'll talk about why the camera needs to be on in a little bit. Number one, I want to see who's present in the session. Whenever I'm done, I want to see some faces. Make sure your microphones are off. We don't want any of the extra noise that may happen as dogs are barking and kids are crying and you're eating because it is lunch. So just make sure that you mute the microphone. If you're not sure where that toolbar is, right here in the middle of the screen, just move your cursor over the middle of the screen and it will pop up if you've never used Teams before. And then finally, you're going to use the chat function to ask questions during the presentation. Really, the best way to ask the questions outside of the presentation is to email rchsinfo@dccd.edu. What I want you to do with your chat questions is really try to jot them down on a piece of paper or something. And then when we get to the end of this, start chatting some of the questions to me and I'll answer some of them if I can. I'm not going to be able to see those chat questions while I'm doing this presentation. So if you hang on to the questions till a little bit later, I might have answered some of them as we go through this. Okay, here we go. First thing is, welcome to RCHS. I'm excited about the fall. It is definitely going to be different for everybody. Our classes for the fall, all of them were going to be online for the entire semester. That is a decision that was made by the Chancellor of Dallas County Community Colleges. He made that some time ago. Really, I think that decision was made in April or May. It was made because Dallas County Community College is a very, very large district with a lot of large campuses, and he didn't see a way to really maintain either CDC protocols or social distancing or really any of the necessary things to keep everybody safe. So he said, hey, you know what, we're a college, we're able to conduct classes online. So he made that call a lot earlier. Now, that being said, I think it gives us a distinct advantage over some other schools in the area because they're still trying to figure out if they're going to be in person, if they're going to be online, and it's kind of shifting back and forth on a daily basis. I have two kids of my own that are in school, and the district has really sent out a couple different pieces of communication, and it's changing because they have to change it based on what TEA or local municipalities are saying. Ours are going to be online. Now, that does create a bunch of unique situations for us as we move forward. So I wanted to try and give you an overview of some of those and highlight some of it. What I do want to tell you right now is if you've got friends that you think might be interested in this because they're not sure what's going to happen in the fall at the schools that you're coming from, the best thing I can say, and I was talking to a student before we got started with this, normally what I would say is you need to invest 2 years with RCHS, and I hope that you do that. That's really what the program is built around. But you do have the opportunity, if your friends aren't sure what's going to happen this fall semester, they can be sure that if they come to us, they're going to leave with a semester's worth of college no matter what. So just keep that in mind. We do have 2 more days of enrollment open, so you may want to spread that amongst your friends and family. Okay, so what will classes look like? There are 2 different types. You've got synchronous instruction and asynchronous instruction. So synchronous instruction is two-way real-time live instruction like what we're doing right now. I'm talking to people that are logged in, that are listening to me right now. This is not recorded. I asked you to be here at a certain time. You got here, you got logged in at a certain time. So synchronous instruction happens through the computer while we're online. This middle sentence right here, and I should have bolded it, all RCHS classes, the classes that you're going to be in that we schedule for you that are related to your success, that are going to guide you through that, are going to be synchronous classes using Microsoft Teams, which is why I sent you the link for Teams so you could log in. Now, asynchronous instruction does not require you to be in front of that instructor. You are going to get your instruction in something other than real time. It sounds like we've got a couple microphones that are on. If y'all could go click the little microphone at the bottom of your screen and make sure it's muted for me, that'll be great. So the asynchronous instruction is going to be a way that instruction might be provided to you through the college. The college professor really has the choice. So you may have some college professors that are going to be synchronous, which means you have to appear in class at a specific time to be counted present and to be engaged in what they're doing. You're going to have other professors that are going to record their lecture. They're going to have their instruction online within their course, and we call that place that the course is held, we call it eCampus. Assignments will be submitted and downloaded. Interaction will take place through that medium. You do need to understand that as an RCHS student, you are really a college student, which means you're going to have to manage those 2 different types. The professors are not going to manage them for you. It's a big part of your scheduling and how you're going to be successful. It all comes back to initially the way that the course is being delivered to you. If we were in regular classes for the fall, you'd still be managing yourself, but really the schedule would be set. You'd know I would go to class each day at a certain time. And then you would do work outside of class, homework, study, etc., on your own schedule. Synchronous and asynchronous instruction really work the same way. I want you to be aware, asynchronous instruction means you're not really going to have a professor sitting in front of you to ask questions. It's not going to work the way that maybe you've been used to. And so asynchronous instruction requires even more of your focus and commitment and self-management than anything else. So I want you to be aware of those 2 different types. So synchronous instruction, yes, you do have to be present. If you have a class that's scheduled at 8 o'clock in the morning, you have to be on that computer with your camera on at 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, what courses are you going to be taking? So let's talk about August term. August really begins August 6th for you and goes through August 20th. We're going to break down what the 6th is. August 6th from 8 to 12 is duck camp. This is an orientation for you. You're going to meet your senior mentors. They're going to talk quite a bit about how to be prepared for classes. At 1 p.m., from 1 to 5, you will begin your very first college class on August the 6th. It's called Learning Frameworks. It's taught by college professors, and the duck camp is going to get you up to speed for that. Now, I can tell you August 6th, they're going to give you your first assignment. They're going to have some lecture. They're also going to go over their syllabi so that you know exactly what to expect from that class. August 7th through the 20th, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., you're going to be in 3 different classes. Those 3 different classes are going to center on critical thinking, organization, and college math. These classes are designed for you to get you up to speed as to what to expect when your college fall semester begins and you've got about 8 college classes that you're working through. These 2 weeks, really think of them as an orientation of sorts into how to think, how to organize, and how to work through that college level work. These are high school classes that you're in, from 8 to 12. They do count towards your GPA. They are real classes that you need to do very well in. 1 to 5, you'll continue with the Learning Frameworks class. So that means by August 20th, you're going to have your very first college class completed, which is pretty cool, I think. 2 weeks, you're going to knock out an entire college class. If you have something to write with, now is the time to write down these dates. August the 6th, you need to be here. Your first class is 1 to 5. August the 7th is when we start all day long with your classes. Duck Camp is not a class. Duck Camp is an orientation. The classes start August 7th, but August the 6th, your first college class starts. I know it sounds like I'm saying that you've got 2 start dates. You kind of do. Make sure you are available. Let's talk about where you can get help. You're going to get more information on all of these with links and names, people to talk to, how to do this. We have a system of support here at RCHS. We call it SOS. That involves tutoring, referrals that your instructors can give to us if they see that you're not doing well. You can self-refer. If you want to say, hey, Mr. Hinkle, I'm kind of lost. I'm not sure what to do. I've got an opportunity for you to do that. You send it in to me. A whole team actually gets it. Excuse me. And depending on what you say that you need, that determines which team member is going to give you a call. We do focus on self-care here too, not just the academic care. We need to make sure that we're doing well socially, emotionally, physically, and mentally. And I've got full-time staff for that as well. And then you can always talk to your academic advisor. Hopefully y'all are already developing good relationships with them as you're working through putting together your schedule. So getting help, there's a lot of different ways to get help. Being online, does that mean that it's harder to get the help? No, it just means that you're not going to see us in person. You're going to have to take a little more initiative and ask for it, as opposed to someone walking by in a classroom like they may have done in the past and saying, hey, you look like you're struggling. Do you need some help? You're going to have to take that initiative and reach out to us. So who can you reach out to? Well, we've got a school resource officer, Officer Brooks. We have a full-time counselor. When I say counselor, he's not the same as your academic advisor. He's a licensed professional counselor. So if you want to talk to somebody, Mr. Lou's always available. Dr. Manus is the administrator of our systems of support. Ms. Smith, our assistant principal, she does just about everything. She's over books and testing and discipline. You've got me, you've got your academic advisor, and then you have your professor too. Again, when we get closer to school starting at Duck Camp, you're going to get all of these names with their contact information, the times that they're available. You're going to get the referrals. You're going to get all of that when we get to Duck Camp on August the 6th. So don't worry about not having it right this minute. Okay, what classes will I take in the fall? So in the fall, you're going to be in about 15 to 17 hours of college credit courses and Path College Career. Okay, so that's about 20 hours of class time that you're going to be in each week. The college credit courses and the Path College Career work together. So you've got your college courses. Path College Career is the high school class that you're in that we're working on with you how to take those other college classes. It's really the critical piece of RCHS's success. It's the reason why we're the #1 campus in the state for earned associate degrees. It's because we teach you how to do it. It's really important when we move into the fall semester that you are taking this class very seriously and you're doing everything that we ask you to do. We're going to be working on study skills, organization, how to plan, how to read college texts, how to annotate those texts, how to take those college level notes. It's not high school anymore, and these textbooks and the lectures are not like they are in high school. We're going to be doing grade checks, and we're also going to be doing some college exploration. The one bullet I didn't put on here is we're also going to be working on SAT and ACT prep in these classes as well. I'm going to be very honest with everybody that's with me today. If you're anything like my kids, my own personal kids that are living here in the house with me right now, they really haven't been to school since mid-March. The work that they did with their schools, while it was the best the school could do, it was not very rigorous. It wasn't hard. In fact, both of my boys would finish a whole week's worth of work in about a day, and that's with still not really working real hard on it. They're not geniuses. They are not super motivated. The work just wasn't too terribly challenging. So I really want you to be self-reflective right now and ask yourself, how hard was it? What skill sets have I probably lost since March? And now I'm going to be jumping into a full college semester. There's going to be some gaps. There's always gaps with any RCHS student that comes to us. There's always a gap. We're there to fill it. Because I'm physically not going to be there around you, and your professors are not physically going to be there around you, it's very, very, very important that when you take these classes this semester, you're doing everything that we tell you to do, and you're doing it when we tell you to do it. Again, we've been doing this a while. The program works. You got to trust the program, but you are going to have to commit personally, and parents, if you're out there too right now, you're going to have to commit to making sure that you're following these processes that we're putting in place, that you're doing the work that we're asking you to do. So what technology do you need? Well, if you're logged in today, then you've got about all that you really need. RCHS is going to provide students with a laptop. There will be a laptop distribution prior to the start of classes. So that means before the 6th, we're planning on distributing laptops. This says make every effort to be in attendance as campus access is very limited due to Dallas County restrictions. Okay, here's where we are. We have ordered laptops for every student. Because of COVID and because of certain shutdowns, the distribution of those items has been delayed. So I haven't received all the laptops yet. Keep checking your email for those schedules. For that laptop distribution. As soon as I know when they're coming, I will let you know when you're supposed to be on campus to come get the laptops. I can't tell you that right now because I don't have all the laptops. It will happen before the first day of class. So really that first week of August, you need to make sure that you are in town, you're around, you don't have anything major scheduled to where if you get an email the day before, hey, you need to be on campus to come get your laptop, that you're able to come do that. The nice thing about the laptops, they're not Chromebooks, they're full laptops. You can do a lot of college level work on them. I encourage all RCHS students to use these laptops because my IT department is able to service and help you with any issues with those laptops. They cannot do that if you're using your own personal device. For example, the laptop that I'm using right now, had an issue with it earlier this week, and my IT tech, Mr. Browder, was able to log into my computer remotely and go in and check some things. So it gives us the ability to make sure that you're always able to do the work. So we're going to provide that technology. Does that mean that you can't use your own technology? No, it doesn't mean that at all. But it does mean you really need to think of the laptop that we're providing you like your work laptop. Kind of the same way that I do. I have a work one that I'm using now, and then I have a personal one that I'm not using. Works the same way. Okay, I'm going to remind everybody one more time, if you will go in and make sure that your mics are muted, that will be great. Okay, classroom expectations. So even though you're going to be at home or another location, wherever you're getting Wi-Fi, there are expectations as to how we conduct business. I want you to remember you're in a college environment. These are college classes with college professors. So we do have a dress code. Dress like you are in a classroom. You will be required to turn on your camera. That's why at the beginning of this, I asked everybody to turn on their cameras. You will be required to turn on your camera. When we talk about dress code and dressing like you're in a classroom, that also means that your environment, you need to have it set up like you're in a classroom. Does that mean you have to go get a desk and not sit in your bed? No, that's not what I'm saying, but we're not going to lay in our beds. Remember, the way that you communicate visually is important. You need to communicate as if this is worth a lot to you. It is worth a lot. You're going to be investing a lot. It counts for 2 years of college. The college professors expect you to act the same way. Attendance, you will be required to participate in all synchronous classes for attendance. RCHS will also use daily attendance check process to document that you are present and engaged. Our attendance time is 12:30. So that means every day at 12:30, you're going to be asked to do something to verify that you are present for school that day. Participation. This is based on your ability to meet all the requirements presented here, as well as those outlined in course syllabi by the professors. That participation level can be different from professor to professor. So reading those syllabi is going to be important. It's going to be required. And RCHS doesn't get to see all those syllabi. You, as the college student, are the ones that actually have access to that. Anything else? Yes, there's more. You must be able to be in attendance at 8 a.m. on the first day. Okay, the first day is August the 7th for the 8 a.m. class. If you're not able to present yourself through Microsoft Teams, you're not going to be allowed to officially enroll in RCHS. You have to be present on the first day of school. Copy down this email address. If you're having issues logging into Teams, then you need to email the attendance office immediately and let them know I'm trying to log in, but I can't. I don't want to be counted absent. Like we did with the meeting today, I said it was at noon, then I sent out the update for 11:45. Basically what that let you do was it let you log in before noon. Make sure you have worked out your technology prior to the first day of school. Make sure it's working, make sure the Wi-Fi is working, make sure you don't have any issues with your laptop, and then make sure you've got a backup too. Download Teams onto your phone. That way, if you have to, you can go through your phone. A reminder, Duck Camp, August the 6th. During Duck Camp on August the 6th, you're going to meet with your mentor group, and you're also going to be broken out into foundation groups. These are small groups with senior mentors that you're going to meet with on a regular basis also. One of the big things about RCHS that students will tell you is that it's a unique place where you really start to develop some strong relationships with other students. Being online, it's a lot harder to do that. So we're going to take some time and make sure that you've got a good guide. All of these senior mentors have met with me. We've gone through some training. They know what to do, and they're really here to help you. Unlike most other schools, you are going to have a senior that's assigned to you, and that senior had to deal with working online at the end of the semester. They've got a lot of good insight in how to do it and how to do it well at our campus and with our college professors. So are we done yet? No, we're not. Parents, if you're out there, we're going to have monthly accountability meetings where I go over what your students should be doing and what you should be doing to help them. This takes place on the first Monday of the month, so go ahead and start marking off every Monday. We're going to start these in September. The first Monday in September, I believe, is typically Labor Day, so it won't be that one. It'll be the following one. We won't ever host any of these on a holiday. So this is where we're going to do some updates. And parents, this is something that students can participate in also. I kind of expect the family to sit down when we host these meetings. They're going to be big meetings. They're going to be, probably 300 folks, 300 families all at once. So it's going to be a very large meeting where I go over some very specific information to make sure that everybody is up to speed and keeping up with what they're supposed to be doing. I also communicate through weekly newsletters for this fall semester. They're also going to be critical to everyone's success. Make sure you are receiving them, reading them. I'm going to send them out on Mondays. If you haven't received it by Tuesday, you need to be emailing the RCHS office and asking for them to check your email address and make sure that it's current. You're also going to want to check your spam folders, your junk folders, whatever may accidentally take that email and put it into a separate file. If I provide links or videos in those, you need to watch them all and you need to click on them. The email newsletter tracks when you open it and what things you click. So I know if you've been reading it or not. It tells me what type of device that you open it from, if it's a mobile device or if it's a desktop. So make sure that you are doing what it asks you to do, because it is tracking that you're doing all of that. Again, this semester being online, it is critical that you're taking advantage of all the communication, everything that we're giving you, and that you're applying it, and that you're really digesting it and turning it into something that's actionable for your success. So one last thing. I am excited that you made the choice to join us. This semester is going to be unlike anything you or I have ever experienced. Notice what it says after the ellipse, though. I want you to realize this isn't high school anymore. What you did in high school is great. It's now time to grow. And we've designed our entire program to push you into those places where real growth and learning happen. Like I said, earlier on, everybody else in the regular ISDs, they're really going to be moving at a pace that they are unfamiliar with, an environment that they're unfamiliar with, to accomplish the same things that they've always accomplished. You're moving into an area where you're going to skip over all of that, and you're going to leave this first semester with a semester's worth of college done. That's a big jump. That's a lot of growth. But I don't know, to me, it makes it seem like it's worth it, you know, to not have to spin your wheels and not have to sit and wonder about what's coming next. Now, you're walking away with a guarantee. Now, that guarantee is dependent upon you and how much work you're really willing to put into it. If you try to work through RCHS the way you did a regular high school, it's not going to work. Remember, you're jumping into college. I do want you to trust us in the process and to trust yourself. You've made an excellent decision. We have year after year after year amazing success stories from kids that just decided, hey, you know what? I don't think I want to waste my time doing what they're doing in high school anymore. I think I want to just move on and take care of some stuff and help further my career, help further my education, leave without as much debt. In the process of doing that, though, I think you're going to learn a lot about yourself, probably more than you would at regular high school. I'm going to say to everybody that's listening right now, I have 2 days of enrollment left, and I have more than enough seats for students. Tell your friends that may be struggling with the idea of what high school looks like in the fall, what their junior year is going to look like. I encourage you to tell them, hey, you know what? I know it's going to be online, but at least you walk away with a semester's worth of college. I think that by itself is worth at least looking at. I've only got 2 days that the school's still able to accept them, so encourage them to do it quickly if you know of anybody that you think might be a good fit. And now I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to go to, good, we got a lot of cameras on now. I am going to go to the chat over here. Does everybody remember where the chat was from the first screen? And this is awesome because it looks like we've got 120 people in the meeting right now. I think my chat is trying to catch up with everybody that gave me some questions here. Oh, by the way, let's see what we've got for questions. Everybody see my background that I've got? Nod your heads so I can see, because I see the pictures. Nod your heads. Okay. That's not my library. That's a fake background. Does everybody know how to change their I wish it was my house. Here, let me turn it off so you can see what it actually looks like. If you go to more actions, the 3 little dots in the center of your screen, I want you to have a little fun with this if you can. And you go to show background effects. Here's what mine really looks like. It's my 16-year-old son's bedroom with nothing on the walls. I'm sitting at his desk because we've all got these weird office spaces because we're all at home, right? One thing that I want to share with you in sharing this is that Mr. Hinkle and the entire staff are really in the exact same place that you are with school. I like to be very honest with my students and with my staff, and there's a lot of stuff that I have no answers for. I don't know. We're kind of making it up as we go along. There's a lot of stuff that we do know because it doesn't really change whether we're online or in the classroom. That's the thing I'm most excited about this year. And this is not meant to be some kind of sales pitch for you. I really am excited for your group. We get to this semester, and maybe unlike any other school in the state, we get to create education the way that we want it to be this semester. We get to make it up. We get to do it the way that we think it should be done. And we, because of where we are and what we do, are not quite as tied down as other school districts are. You have the opportunity to give me feedback too as we go through this. And I expect you to. I expect my seniors to give me feedback. So I want to make sure that you understand that this is a very open environment where you're able to communicate with the principal and tell him what your experience is. I expect you to do that so we can try and make it a good one, and I can try and help you with it. Okay, so I got people going nuts on the chat right now, so let me see if I can catch up on them. I submitted son's paperwork. Tayaba, I was wondering how he needs to sign up for the exam. Okay, so Jonathan and Adam, my enrollment specialists, are the guys that you're going to communicate with. They handle all of that and the scheduling of those. So you can send an email to RCHS info and take care of that. And I'm not sure, Jonathan might be in here, and I think Adam might be in here in the meeting, so they'll try and reach out to you. They can see the chat as well. Does Path College Career replace Avid? Dana, yes, it does. What it's allowing us to do, and it looks like Daisy is in there also about Avid. So Path College Career, really, it kind of looks the same as Avid did. It really centers on a lot of the same concepts. It just gives us a lot more flexibility. Avid was very rigid in what we had to do. Now, that's not to say that my Path College Career class is not also going to be rigorous and make sure that students are doing what they're supposed to, but we have more freedom to change it. Dana, does that help a little bit? We can adapt it more easily than we can Avid. Avid requires you to do their program. Path College Career, the objectives look very, very similar, almost exactly the same to Avid, but we're not tied to Avid's program. So it allows me to, well, for instance, this semester, I'm glad that I changed it because I don't know how I'd do the binders this semester. You know, it gives me some flexibility. It's still going to work on the same concepts though. Let's see. Daisy, I talked about that. Sonia, can you please give us more details about picking up the laptops? Yeah, I'd love to. When we do it, I don't know the day yet. When we do it, I'm going to email out a schedule. It'll be an alphabetic schedule by time. Usually, the way that we did the collection was to have it socially distanced. It was a drive-through drop-off. It was by alpha and by time, and then you drove into campus. I provided a map, told you where to go, the arrows, you drove through, did what you were supposed to. So it's alpha by time, typically. The distribution will happen the same way that the drop-off did. I just don't know the days yet because I don't have the computers yet. So we're all going to have to be a little flexible on that. Hopefully that answered that question. 504 accommodations. You're going to want to visit with Felicia Walker. She handles accommodations and things of that nature. So students and parents, if you have been on any type of 504 plan or had any kind of accommodations, Miss Felicia Walker is the one that you're going to want to visit with, okay? And again, Jonathan and Adam, the enrollment specialist, rchsinfo@dccd.edu, email, and they'll put you in contact. What time are the parent meetings on Mondays, and will parents still need to be part of Duck Camp? Parents, as of right now, you don't need to be part of Duck Camp. We will probably have a parent Duck Camp at a separate time, and that Duck Camp will be more of one of these meetings, kind of like we're doing right now. I'm just going to talk real specifically to parents, though, while the students are in their Duck Camp. I haven't decided yet if the parent duck camp is going to be me just recording myself or not. It might be just to make it easy for parents to not necessarily have to be present for that. Students, you are going to have to be present for that duck camp, though. You're going to get a whole lot of information in that first 4 hours about being how to do what we do and where to go and how to do it. Plus, you're going to get the chance to ask a whole lot of questions. And you're going to get to ask questions to your senior mentors, too. They're going to be one of your best resources. Synchronous classes overlap. Good question. They shouldn't. That's why they're all scheduled in an actual schedule. That's what the college told us. That being said, me saying that they shouldn't doesn't mean that they won't, because it's new for everybody, including the college. So if you see that you have 2 synchronous classes that overlap, contact your academic advisor. They've worked with you on your schedule and they'll start working through that. It's an excellent question. The reality is, even if we weren't online, there's a high likelihood that by the time everything's said and done, when the college classes start, that you may have 2 physical classes that overlapped at some point. It just takes a little bit of work, like it does at any other high school or any other school, just to kind of sort through that. Zane, the parent meetings on Mondays, usually I do those around 6:30 or 7 o'clock in the evening. That way everybody can attend, get home from work or whatever they're doing, kind of shut down. So I forgot to answer that part of the question. Let's see. Deadline for scheduling classes through advising meetings. Belisa, your advising meetings, you're going to set those up again with our enrollment specialists, Jonathan and Adam. So don't worry about the 24th being the last day for enrollment. If you've already started all the paperwork, the advising meetings can, they'll keep continuing to happen all the way through really up to August, just before we start. How do we schedule classes and know we are enrolled into RCHS? So that's kind of the first part of the last question. So Manav, what happens is you meet with an academic advisor, and then they go through your transcript, what you've already had. They get you in the classes you're supposed to be in, and so make sure that you've filled out all the enrollment stuff. If you haven't heard from anybody, rchsinfo@d-cc-d.edu. Okay. Don't just sit and wait. Email them and ask. Okay. Don't just sit and wait. Email and ask somebody. Let's see. So Anne, you're going to need to talk to Jonathan or Adam also about the TSI test. I'm trying to see more. Yeah, contact Jonathan and Adam. They are your enrollment specialists for the testing. Okay. I don't see your face, Ann, so I'm talking out there to no one. So hopefully you are hearing this. And then Jonathan is in the chat. Looks like he is answering some of the questions that have been posted. Hey, Jonathan or Adam, can y'all go ahead and in the chat put the link for the email address? And then I am going to try and attach this PowerPoint real quick into the chat also, so that y'all can download it if you want to. If it'll work. There we go. Okay, it's uploading in the chat right now, the PowerPoint that I went over today, just in case you need something. I know there's not a lot of specifics in it. Are we, Dana, you should be running half of this meeting. Are you going to be handing out green and purple binders? Not for the fall. When we come back in the spring, we're going to be doing some green binders. Yep. Isaac just held up a purple binder. Good job, Isaac. Um, this is so weird for me to be talking to faces with no audio, and everybody's giving me like thumbs up, and I can see, people laughing and whatnot. And then there's like 102 people that I can't see. Okay, here we go. Just posted that. PowerPoint. Vocational classes. Oh, wait, just jumped around. Okay, so vocational classes, typically what we're doing in RCHS does not involve any vocational classes. We're working on university prep, which are all your basics that you're going to have in your first 2 years. There are a few here and there that may be offered. The struggle that we have with this fall is vocational classes typically require some type of in-person lab time or some type of certification at the college level. So we're still kind of waiting to see how that plays out. So the answer to that is typically no. Let's see if I can get caught back up here to some of these questions. Y'all are asking great questions. Can you show how to change the background again? Yeah. So you go into the little middle section where there's more actions, the 3 little dots. So put your cursor in the middle of the screen, look for the 3 dots, and then you can change background. And Mason Lee, that one wasn't in there, was it? Did you upload that already? Was that in there? Was that in your teams? Cool, because it's not in my teams. That's awesome. We'll be able to join clubs. Kimia. Yes, there are going to be a lot of opportunities for clubs. Some of those clubs are going to be unique to RCHS, and some of those clubs are going to be college clubs. So yeah, we do want you to join those, especially this fall semester. It's a good way to get connected, but it's also a good way to grow a resume for those universities, showing that you're involved in things, because most of them are college level clubs. Isaac got it from his older brother. Nice. Let's see. Will books be online sources or will they be real books issued from RCHS? Okay, so the books. The college has moved to something that they are calling Include Ed, and those are all online textbooks that will be uploaded, what I'm told, automatically into eCampus, which is the place that your college course is held. So when you log into that course online, you should be able to download or access the online text. I have requested that if you would like a printed text, you let us know and we can order the printed text. I am a printed text person. I like printed books. I like to highlight. I like to make notes. I like to write in things. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea how you're going to do it with digital text. That's one of the reasons why that support course, Path College Career, is going to be so important for y'all. Y'all, I'm very, very concerned, to be honest, about all of you, based on your experience at the end of last year. I don't know how well that went for you. I don't know if you feel like, man, yeah, after March, I really started learning a whole lot. I don't know if you feel like that or not. My own kids don't. I'm kind of going based on what I know from them. And so if you feel like you need a real book because you like to turn pages, or it's easier for you to manage, like for me right now, you can't see it, but I have one like 11.5-inch screen that I'm working on. To try and put a textbook on that and do the work that I need to do on it is nearly impossible because I'm old and I can't see. I have to get up like this close to be able to see anything. The textbook is a lot easier for me to work from. If you need the text, you're going to have to let us know. We'll have a process for that. But right now, the college bookstore doesn't have a process for me to create a process from. Does that make sense to everybody? They're going to have to tell me how to order it. Then I'll create the process to let you know. Typically, it goes through your advisor, and then your advisor lets Miss Smith know, and then she'll get the books ordered. They will have to be mailed to you. So that is kind of the overview of the process for those books. If you like using digital text because it's easy or the book is pretty cool and it's made to be really accessible, that's great too. You don't have to ask for that book. There is no link in the PowerPoint on where to go to set up my Richland email. Not in the one that I just sent you. No, there isn't. Email rchsinfo@d.cc.edu. Try to make it simple. Go to that one-stop shop, and you can take care of it right there. Are there any sports teams? Okay, so this fall, no, because we're all online. Because you're still in high school, but you're in college classes, because you haven't technically graduated high school, you're not eligible to play the sports at the college because high school is UIL and college is NCAA. You have to have graduated high school first. That being said, when we do get back on campus in the spring, we do a lot of sports. We do a lot of intramurals. We play a lot of games. We've got volleyball nets that we set up all the time, and we just play volleyball between classes. We do football on the weekends and in the evenings. So well, trust me, you're doing enough work. You need to do some playtime too. I call it recess. That was always my favorite part of elementary school was recess. And so you still need recess. So we try and make that happen when you are on campus. But as far as official teams, no. Your sport is an academic sport with us for a solid 2 years. It's not easy. I'll be honest with you, but it's completely doable. It just takes up more time than what you're used to. Your senior year, you're going to have a really good feeling for how to get involved in stuff more than your junior year because you'll have a year under your belt. Let's see, Christina came a bit late to the meeting. Will there be a schedule? Christina, that last name looks familiar. A schedule for classes, some of them will be scheduled, some of them will be not. That's the difference between the synchronous and the asynchronous. Let's see. Manhor, it looks like I already answered that for the books. I answered that one already. Rahil, when is the last day to take the TSI? That's Jonathan Adam at rchsinfo.com. Last day to schedule classes. That's going to go through your advisor. Don't worry about scheduling right now. Just worry about getting all your application information submitted and done. Jeremiah, if we can't make it to a class because of an appointment, we have somewhere else. What if you can't make it to a class? So my best advice to you is if you're making the appointment, make it at some other time. Here's something else, though, which has saved me a few times. My phone, right? I've got the Teams app on the phone, and I've conducted several meetings from inside my car because I had to be 2 places at once, right? So always have this on you, download the app. Am I saying do that all the time? No. But what I'm saying is the virtual world and going online, it provides certain advantages. Are you present? Are you participating? Isaac, you got somebody behind you there. Again, we love working from home, don't we? My dog, I've got a German Shepherd. My wife is working downstairs right now, and she's doing a meeting on Zoom. And every time someone comes in on Zoom, a doorbell sound rings. Guess what my German Shepherd does every single time? Goes ballistic. So we get it. We understand what it's like working from home. We understand what it's like working online. To really get to the point of the class appointment, the real point is that you need to make sure that you're always present. Okay, do whatever you can to always be present. We know sometimes things happen, but you're going to miss a lot if you're really gone, so do the best you can. Concerned about professors' availability? The professors have the choice to teach the synchronous class. They don't have to teach synchronous classes. They can teach asynchronous if they want to. So professor availability is, honestly, it's a lot like it is when they're there in person. They can be very difficult to get a hold of sometimes. The advantage of taking the RCHS program is that you've got to figure out how to overcome those obstacles. When you're struggling with that, you reach out to RCHS, and then we try and reach out to those professors or those deans to try and help you fill that gap. But yeah, it's not going to be always easy. It's not always going to be the pathway to getting in touch with professors is not always going to be as fluid as it would be at a regular high school. An asynchronous class, I'll tell you right now, my entire master's degree was asynchronous online. Every class took 5 weeks. It was a lot of work in 5 weeks, and I knew from the syllabus what was due each week. The professor was only there for certain office hours, and really we submitted work and then they gave feedback through the work. That was it. Never really talked to the professor in 2 years of doing my master's degree. You just may have to try and figure out how to get through that. That's part of what we do. I know it's not the answer that you're wanting, but it's the reality of what we've got to work with, and we're going to work through it. We're going to tell you what I tell everybody else. We're going to do it better than anybody else. That's who RCHS is. We're going to always strive for excellence, not perfection, and do it the best that we possibly can. Are we going back in person in the spring? Faith, we don't know. I'm speaking it into truth that we are by saying when we're back in the spring, but right now we don't know what's happening week to week, honestly, just in society in general. As cases continue to rise, we don't know. We hope so. Gilberto, I think you're probably okay. I think that we would have figured it out. And Christine, I have 2 older sisters. Yes, I know you do. I remember both of them. Senior capstone project. So Dana, yes, but that's so far away from what we're talking about right now. I didn't figure I'd bring it up. But yeah, all students at RCHS complete a senior capstone. That's part of the program. It's what you do that's different from any other school. That process begins the spring semester of your junior year with a class called Research Methodologies. So we're going to get you in the first semester, kind of get your feet underneath you, make sure you know how to operate with those college classes, those college professors. And then spring of your junior year, we start working on making sure that you're heading the right direction for those senior capstone classes. Volunteer hours. Yes, so service learning, it's going to work a little differently this fall. But yes, you are going to be required to log your service learning hours because you're going to be really limited on the places that you can go to do service learning. We've restructured the fall semester of service learning where you can earn the hours without actually going anywhere. It involves you doing a lot of self-exploration to try and find the right places to go do the hours at, some research on the places that are available to do the service learning. So yeah, it's still going to be required, but it's not quite the same. Let's see, Kelsey, can you elaborate on scholarship opportunity as a result of being in the program? So last year we had 16 million in scholarships. Your senior year, what we do is we make you fill out a minimum of 3 scholarship applications every month. That just by sheer number increases your ability to get a scholarship. If you're able to do really well at RCHS, you're also establishing that you're I don't know how to say this other than you're a good bet for people that are going to give you money to go to school. You've already demonstrated that you can finish 2 years of school before you even graduated high school. So you're a good risk for them to take and giving money to complete college. Honestly, it just kind of depends on the school that you're going to and what you've applied for. So we want to make sure in your senior year that you're applying for as many of those scholarship opportunities as you can. Well, we have been here together for about an hour. now. I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. I want to thank y'all for coming in today. I know we've got a lot of people that have already kind of left us. If you have any other questions, send them to rchsinfo@d.edu. Keep watching your email like you've been watching for updates, especially for the textbook distribution. Make sure your technology is ready to go on August the 6th, 8 a.m. August the 6th. You're going to be live in person like you are right now with somebody. We'll send you those links and tell you where you're going to be. And then you're going to spend all day on the 6th working. Everybody understand that, right? The 6th, you're going to begin with an orientation and duck camp. And then at 1 o'clock, you're going to come back and you're going to meet your EDUC, your Learning Frameworks college professors, and begin working in their class on Thursday the 6th. August the 7th is when we take our official roll to submit to TEA that says that you are enrolled in our program. If you're not present that day at 8 a.m., you have to be withdrawn from the program. Is everybody clear on that? Okay, so August 6th is really your first day. August 7th, you must be there August 7th or I have to drop you out of the program. And then we're working the rest of August 6th through 20, doing those 3 classes in the morning, critical thinking, organization, and math, to kind of get you up to speed, get you back in the groove of doing work. What we do is we start really at a high school level, and by the end of the 2 weeks, you're at a college level, so you can kind of feel how it's different so that you're ready when you've got a full load of college classes. In the afternoon in August, you're going to be doing another college class. You're going to love that class. It's great. It also talks about how you learn and why you learn, and how to adjust the way that you learn to maximize your potential in college. And that's taught by college professors, so we're excited about that one too. And then Harsh, yes, I can send the PowerPoint over email. I'll send it to Jonathan and Adam to send out so that everybody's got it in case you had trouble opening. Thank y'all for joining us. Keep watching your email for updates, and I look forward to seeing y'all all in person at some point in the future, but especially on August the 6th. And Dana, thanks for all the extra questions. Appreciate it. See y'all later.
I don't get anything. I joined for 3 minutes at the end of the presentation. I don't know anything was going on.